Hi everyone, welcome to our weekly Q&A session. And today was supposed to be here with me Coach Alina. However, I haven't heard from her. Probably she might have some connectivity issues or anything. So I will do my best to answer your questions. And I think we can start right away because we have already a few wonderful questions that I have found on the YouTube channel under the banner about this Q&A. So let's start. The first question is from Karin Bronze. So hi Karin, um, I have a question. I wake up earlier than usual and I can't resist the urge to open my eyes to see if there is already daylight. When there isn't, I start to have palpitations and can't sleep anymore. It frustrates me, and I know I can't do anything, but my mind still thinks I have to solve this. Also, I can't seem to stop reading and searching for solutions. I already know most and know why my mind wants to solve this. When is it time to stop finding reassurance and stop looking at YouTube videos and Instagram posts? So, thank you, Karen, for this wonderful question. And there are quite a few of them. So let's start at the beginning. I wake up earlier than usual, so this is very normal. Waking up earlier than usual is just simply part of the process. Basically, everybody wakes multiple times per night. You know, it usually happens at the end of the sleep cycle. We usually just wake up, look around, check if everything around us is okay, if we are safe, and then we lay down and fall asleep again, basically. But very often, what happens is when we experience this fear of not sleeping, when we have a lot of hyperarousal in our bodies, it's very normal that we remember these awakenings. And when we think of them as they are not something unusual, they are not supposed to be there, then our brain remembers it. Karen thinks this is something unusual. Karen thinks this is not okay to be awake earlier than usual. So, as always, what matters is our reaction. It's our reaction that tells our brain whether to keep waking ourselves up or not. So, that said, these early awakenings are very normal. And the other part of the question was I can't resist the urge to open my eyes to see if there is already daylight. When there isn't, I start to have palpitations and can't sleep anymore. It frustrates me, and I know I can't do anything, but my mind still thinks I have to solve this. So, is it very okay? When we are awake and it's normal to open our eyes because we want to check whether we are safe, whether our surroundings, whether if there is a threat. This goes back to hundreds, thousands years of beyond. It's natural for us when there is darkness. There is kind of like more likely that there could be some threat lurking. So we have to check. It would be more struggle to not check the surroundings than just to check it. And now again, what matters is our reaction to it. And because our brain has this fear of not sleeping, this fear of wakefulness, naturally the next reaction is anxiety and palpitations. So, what you need to do or not do is just to allow these palpitations and this anxiety because they are automatic, they are a natural part of the process. And part of the recovery is also dealing with difficult emotions like anxiety and very uncomfortable symptoms like palpitations. So, allowing these anxiety and palpitations teaches our brain, like, hey, it's safe to experience this discomfort. So, it's absolutely okay if you allow this. And naturally, you may think, when I allow this discomfort, it's taking my sleep, it's taking my hours that I would sleep otherwise. Partially, yes. You maybe, if you wouldn't have these palpitations or anxiety, you probably might be sleeping. But right now, what's helping in the long term is to allow this anxiety and fear, and over time, you won't get any. Or if you get, they will not be so persistent, so strong, they basically will fade away. So, acceptance and allowing these kind of symptoms and discomfort teaches the brain that this is safe, even the discomfort is safe. So, in the long run, this is what matters most, not really forcing uh, to relax, pushing away the discomfort. And I hope I have answered this part of the question. And what you also asked was, I can't seem to stop reading and thinking for solutions. I already know most and know why my mind wants to solve this. When is it time to stop, find reassurance, and stop looking for at YouTube videos and Instagram posts? Really good question, and also not so easy to answer, because you are going against the natural uh, way how your brain is working. And when you are forcefully trying to stop seeking for reassurance, forcefully trying to stop looking for solutions, your brain will go down the path. What if this? What if that? And part of the recovery process is to learn to be okay with uncertainty, because there is nothing certain in our lives. If you take it like philosophically, there is no guarantees. And we need to learn to be okay with the guarantees. We can't predict how our recovery will be like, let alone we can't predict the next night or even what happens in the next moment. And still, we go on with our life. Still, we enter the night. Still, we enter the next moments of our lives. And we don't really think about these guarantees, about these reassurances. Do I know how the next moment will look like? We don't. And learning to be okay with this uncertainty is just simply part of the process. And, you know, I think when you have these solid foundations of of what is sleep, what is insomnia, how does the insomnia recovery looks like in terms of this general knowledge, like that it's bumpy, you experience a lot of speed bumps, and it's okay to not experience the uh, it's okay to not experience or to not have this certainty. When you have these solid foundations, then when you will know that you are not going to learn much more from the videos that you are watching, your brain naturally will let go of wanting to watch more and more and more. At the beginning of our insomnia, we want so much, like we are so hungry for knowledge. But as we learn that basically all the teachings uh, give us the same outcome, give us the same information. Don't be attached to the outcome. Speed bumps are okay, anxiety is okay. And you gain the new experiences along your path, along your journey. Uh, your brain will learn and naturally will let go of this craving. I have to watch every single new video. And you will get bored and tired of this insomnia topic. And naturally, you will want to simply live your life and not bother with sleep topic anymore. So this was the long way to answer your questions, Karin. I hope that it helps. And I think I can answer another question. And the another one would be from also from the YouTube, and I can't show it here right now, but I have a question from Dreams After Tomorrow. And I'm on a zero sleep row, and it feels kind of impossible to sleep again because every night that I've been awake all night, I feel the same, and this same feeling is not going to make me fall asleep. And honestly, each additional sleepless night makes the next night harder. I know both of you wonderful ladies had multiple zero nights of on your journey. I just feel like my skin is so dry. And I got so many more wrinkles, and I'm scared to run into people that I know because I obviously look not well. Sigh. Can you please share if you worried about your appearance during your recovery? I thank you very much for your question, Dreams After Tomorrow. And I believe every single person who goes through insomnia struggle, or not only insomnia struggle, uh, every struggle, every inner struggle, and also like every struggle that is um, kind of like external, show shows up on our appearance. We cannot like isolate it to insomnia only. People who have like long-term illness, people that go through difficult through challenges in their lives, like uh, divorce, or when some of their relative is sick, they struggle. And it's not only about the physical appearance. When we struggle on the inside, it shows up on our outside. And this is helpful to recognize because it's not only about how we look physically. And when it if it would be only about the physical appearance, you just go to a drugstore and there are like tons of makeup and ways how to hide our physical appearance. But what is more visible is our inner struggle. It's when we are sad, when we are depressed, when we have these heavy feelings on the inside. It's you can see it already from far when you look at this person. The back is hunched, the head is facing down, and there is this kind of like cloud of heaviness. So recognizing this physical appearance and inner struggles helps us to understand it's not only how we look on the outside. It helps us to know that when we know how to face our struggles, when we can detach ourselves from the struggle, and when we know that it's our reaction to what is happening, and that it's natural to feel even not always happy, it helps us to be more kinder to ourselves. And so very often we can influence what is happening to us, but we can change our attitude. The sleepless nights are very, very challenging. So it's natural that you wouldn't look so great. It would even sound not normal. Hey, I'm not sleeping and I look, right? My skin is radiant, right? It doesn't even sound normal. So take a good deal of self kindness towards yourself. It's absolutely okay to look like you struggle. And the interesting way was like when I had these multiple nights of not sleeping, I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was just trying to explain her how much I struggle. My goodness, I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping multiple nights in a row, and it's costing me. It's tiring, and I had this whole monologue of explaining how awful I feel, how exhausted and scared I am of another night of not sleeping. And you know what my friend told me? You don't look like you struggle. You don't look like not sleeping. You look normal. And paradoxically, this made me angry because this made me feel like she doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe in what deep, dark place I am in. So, you know, that's it. It's a lot about our attitude, about how we face our struggles, how we react to them. So, thank you for this question, Dreams After Tomorrow. I hope I have answered it. And yeah, I think we can move to another question. And I've seen a question from Marco that was already on the YouTube. And the question is, does setting a wake up time to alarm clock increase pressure to sleep? Is it okay not to set alarm clock in the morning? Thank you for this question, Marco. This was very common struggle for me when I was during my insomnia times, and I felt like if I set an alarm clock for the morning, I felt like, oh my goodness, now I have a set time until which I have to fall asleep. Um, I don't know if this makes sense, but my way of thinking was, okay, now I have like 10 hours to manage to fall asleep. Do you know what I mean? And I was kind of setting this rule, this pressure. I have these 10 hours to fall asleep. And if I don't fall asleep in these 10 hours, this is going to be a disaster. So, definitely setting an alarm clock was a challenge for me. And if you think along these lines, like I did in the past, you know, first of all, setting an alarm clock, it gave me a lot of anxiety. And it's about learning to be with this anxiety, with, uh, with this uncomfortable feeling that was going on in my body, that I felt like, oh my goodness, I set an alarm clock and it feels like turning in my stomach, for example. And I had to learn to be for a while with this turning in my stomach, like, it's uncomfortable. But for some reason, logically, I want to set an alarm clock for the morning. So it's like Daniel has also one teaching like change reaction. When there is some change in our routine, and uh, we, for example, this setting alarm clock, it's natural that we experience some bumpiness. But don't be scared of this bumpiness. It's it's like our brain is asking, are you sure that this is safe? Are you sure that setting alarm clock for the morning is okay for us? And you just kind of like need to answer, yes, this is safe. It's absolutely okay to set an alarm clock. Maybe you will experience more wakeful time at night. You might experience maybe an all-nighter or two. But if you persist and allow this bumpiness and kind of um, stick to setting an alarm clock, your body and mind will get used to this. So naturally, it's also okay to not set the alarm clock in the morning. But in this case, I would ask myself, why am I not setting the alarm clock for the morning? Is it because I don't feel comfortable about it, or because I'm afraid of it? And if the answer is B, I am afraid of it, then you know that the only way to overcome fear is to go through it, is to face the fear. So challenge this, now setting alarm clock, and good luck with this, Marco. So I hope I have answered your question. And right, we have a question from A series. Hi, A series. It's very nice to see you here again. And the question would be, hello, hope you are doing fine. Yes, thank you. I just want to share my experience. I'm curious about it. I'm no longer struggling with sleep. Wonderful. In, in fact, it is not anymore my center for attention. I sleep easily, and I don't care if it happens that I don't sleep well. But in fact, on the other hand, I discovered that my brain has begun to focus and worry on other things in life. This is to say that the brain will always send us thoughts from different kinds. Um, if we are aware that these are just thoughts, the natural process of our brain, they will no longer bother us. They're always fleeting. For example, my brain can now be worrying on a task at work. After an hour, it will focus on my child health. Mhm. I totally understand, and this is very, very common A series. Sorry, coffee. And I particularly remember one case that we had in our immunity program. But before that, I'm so glad that you experience this improvement not only in your sleep, but in your attitude to sleep. That you don't really care whether you slept or not. That you are not attached to the sleep outcome, and that. You simply are doing much better, and the very natural um, experience when people are more advanced in their insomnia recovery is that when these worry thoughts are not about sleep anymore, it is about something completely different. And the reason is basically your brain has been used to worry so much. You gave to worries so much space in your everyday experience, in your every day and every night. You create so much space for worries. So when the focus of your worry is not sleep, your brain finds something else. And there are two things I want to mention. And the first would be about this case I mentioned about uh, the case we had in Insomnia Immunity Program. And she said, like, after she didn't worry about sleep, she had all these kind of nonsensical thoughts, worry thoughts, like, what if I get kidnapped? Or what if I get robbed in the middle of the day? Uh, or you know what I mean? And it's very natural. It's normal to experience these kind of worries. And how to get out of these is just the same how to get out of these sleep worries. It's basically to be okay with them. And all you need to do is just thank your brain. Sometimes it doesn't really make sense to argue with your brain. For example, you said you worry for health of your child. Uh, Sometimes you can argue, okay, but I do all my best for his immunity. We go for walks, he does sport, he takes vitamins, and so on and so on. Sometimes this doesn't help. Sometimes all it needs to do, all we need to do is just to thank your brain for this suggestion. Thank you, brain, for letting me know. And that's it. When your brain sees you are not interested into this kind of information, it will let go. It will stop eventually sending you this information. And the other thing was Some people, after the sleep worries have faded, after these other kinds of worries have faded, they feel emptiness because they gave so much space to worrying throughout the night and day. Then now, when they don't feel anymore, when they don't worry anymore, they feel like there is an emptiness inside of them. Some days they experience sadness or these kind of emotions, and allow this. Anything happens, know that they are natural consequence of really uh, challenging and emotionally very draining experience like insomnia is. So I hope I have answered your question, A series. And right, uh, I have a question from Matt Romero. After 3 years, everything is so much easier. I can tell you every year insomnia is feeding more and more, and from time to time, I guess fading more and more, and from time to time, you forgot how it feels to have such an experience as insomnia. And there are other questions. Uh, Please remember, a person have two lives. The second life begins when you recognize you have only one life. So enjoy me, friends. It will leave you someday. Keep going and accept the current status. And follow all advice and you will find more sleep. You will find the gold nugget of your own life and you will understand what it means to be a human and to be yourself. Never give up. Surrender and accept your current life. Your brain loses interest. Regards, Talahat. Thank you so much. And this was really insightful comments from you. And I'm not sure if it's you, Talahat. I used to work with you quite intensively from when I was in the training. And if it's you, I'm really, really glad that you have popped in and left a comment. And I'm really, really, really glad that you are in a much better place right now. Yes, it's wonderful. Thank you so much, Talahat. This is great. I remember you and I never forget you. Thank you so much. You are a really great, uh, really great experience, learning experience for me. And you are you are a wonderful human being. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to work with you. Love you too. Okay, and Marco Kononen. Thank you, Veronika, for your comforting answer. Glad to hear that. Mm, and I have a question from SM. What to do when resting itself becomes a sleep effort? Um, Good question. And, you know, what to do when resting itself becomes a sleep effort? It's very, it's great that you can recognize this. And when we simply talk about sleep efforts, uh, when we know what is a sleep effort, or just very briefly, sleep effort is doing something with the intention to make us fall asleep. But when we know what are sleep efforts, when we know that we can force sleep to happen, when we simply uh, see the tricks of our brain, then uh, we cannot unsee it. And then we naturally let go of this result, of this sleep outcome. So when you know that you rest for the sleep, for making sleep happen, then either you have two options: either change the intention or change what are you doing right now. But I think what do you mean by that is that when you rest, you also naturally have this little thought at the back of your mind. Maybe this resting will help me to sleep. or I would prefer to sleep. And this resting will lead to sleeping. And it's absolutely okay. And it's very normal to have this preference. No matter what, we will always have this preference of feeling well, of sleeping well. So it's absolutely okay if you have this preference, but knowing that you can't force sleep to happen is um, what that kind of like that's the trick for us that neutralizes the effort. So, and something recently that I read about resting is that when we rest, it opens the gate to hypersleep. And when we experience hypersleep, it opens the gate to the deep sleep. So if you feel like resting and be absolutely okay with it, it's absolutely fine to be uh, to uh, to allow this, to allow resting without just be mindful of the intent. If you feel like there is this kind of like frustration, like I rested and I didn't fall asleep. There is a pressure. It's not very helpful. But if you rest and you are not really attached to the outcome, if I rest, I rest. And if I don't rest, yeah, if I don't fall asleep, it's still fine because I have rested. That's a really nice way how not to be attached to the outcome. Okay. So I think I have answered all your questions today. It was really wonderful to have you all here. I thank you very much for coming and placing the questions. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye bye. Take care.